Good morning, everyone. So it's like 12:43 my time. Alright, so I was asleep. And I keep getting these little thoughts trying to run in my head. These thoughts keep running in my head. And every time I get closer to a thought, my phone dings. Something happens. And then I try to go back to sleep. And it's like it's like I can tell I'm getting closer to something. Something's trying to stop me at the same time to get my mind off. So I pay attention to details and whatnot. So remember, I think I talked about the Easter egg I found the other day. So the picture that I attached of that big egg was on a bench. Something like the same bench in the Matrix. Okay. So I'm like a mix between Neo and Trinity. It's like both personalities are mine. I'm both people. The masculine and the feminine side. Both people. And so bear with me because my energy and everything is messing with me a little bit right now. Alright, so some months ago. Alright, I'm gonna just put it like this. I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can. Every job I ever had has some significance to my journey. My first job was carpentry, working at building houses and painting and stuff like that. My second job worked at JCPenney. That's clothing. However, JCPenney as a penny president. Okay, think of it like that. I worked at a daycare before. I worked at a sub place. I worked at a jewelry store. Where else? I worked at a nut factory, peanut factory, warehouse factory. I worked as a security guard. What else? I worked as driving transportation for people that had disabilities and mental disabilities. What else? I did going to talking to different community sales, and community sales was where I was selling makeup. What else I done? I did a bunch of different things, but that's what my brain stopping at the moment. But somehow every job that I had tied to my journey. But this one job that I forgot about is popping up in my head. And I worked there for like a week or so or something like that. And it was selling knives. The company was called Vector, and he was selling Cutco knives. And they was a big thing. This is when I was staying in Greenville. And I remember because the company was right beside the store that this is when apple bottoms became a big thing. It became a big thing. Apple bottom on jeans or whatnot. So I think that's the company. Well, I don't want to say the name. I don't want to say it wrong, but yeah, apple bottom was the thing, because now people are getting to that point where it went from not having a big butt was a big thing to now if you have a bigger butt, then you know everybody got that apple bottom. So they fit different. They fit different for people that had a shape. Okay, that's when the shape started getting a big thing. So that was around 2005. So between 2005 2006, I'll say about 2006. Yeah, 2006. That's when that was a big thing. It was probably a little bit before then, but when I recognized it, it was around 2006. So that company was like doors down from the Vector company. So at the time, I needed a job, and you had to go sell the knives door to door. But this is the kicker: you had to buy the knife set before you sell it. So now this $56 knife set, you have to pay for it. And then once you pay for it, you'll go door to door and you'll show the people what you have, and you'll explain to them how amazing these knives are and this and that. And then they get to try it. You do your demonstrations, and then guess what? Then if the person like it, they will order some. And these knives was the biggest thing. It was about, you can cut through anything. You can cut through. Their biggest line was, you can cut through bone. I remember. In the lineup, they had this one knife. Out of all the knives, was this black brownish color, but they had one that was a pearl color that stood out. It looked something like a butter knife, but it wasn't a butter knife. But it was small and petite. And they call it the mother of pearl. So I was desperate. I needed a job. I needed some extra money because I was out on my own. So I asked a family member, can I get the money? And I'll, pay them back. I did eventually pay them back. It took a long time, but I eventually paid them back. But what's so crazy is when I got those knives, and I was excited, but then I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't really know how to do sales. I don't really know how to go out here. I did all of that because this is the kicker. This is how they get you. What you do is, the more you sell, then you can be a distributor too. You can have your own location too. If you were to sell enough of these, then guess what? You can have your own location as well. Cool. Now it was another company there is another company that did insurance, and I'm gonna get to these things. I said, okay, cool. But after I got the stuff, young and dumb, right? Young and dumb, because majority of the people that they get are young ones. They'll get a couple older heads. 90% are younger ones, fresh into college, desperate for money. Get out. They tell you how you can be able to have your own business. You ain't got to worry about anyone. I said, cool. I ended up bought that set, and I ended up had to use it. I never sold anything. I think, did I sell it to somebody? I might have sold it. No, I don't remember selling it to anyone. That's when I found out about pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes. And I'm going to get back to one of those knives. So, a pyramid scheme is when you have a top person. You have the top. They're your motivator. And what you do is, it starts as that one person. So, I'm the top. I'm going to bring somebody in. Once I bring you in, you got to bring 2 more people in. And then you got to convince those 2 people to bring 2 more people separately in. And so forth, so on. And that's how you build your company up. The top person ain't got to do nothing. They just got to convince one person to be able to convince another person. But this is the kicker. By you buying the product up front, it don't matter if they can't get somebody on the outside to buy. You already got your money up at the beginning of the deal. Now, if they get someone else into the deal, then guess what? You get a commission off of that one, and then off of that one, off of that one, off of that one, and it goes so forth and so on. And you ain't got to do nothing. It don't matter if the outside, if they can't get someone else to fully buy, long they can bring someone in to buy the product. That's all that matters. Then you have meetings. Great job. You did amazing. You did amazing. Great job. You did amazing. I know you can do it. You have your little places. So I did it with knives. I did it with the makeup. And I've done it with insurance. And it's a scheme. It's a scheme. Well, we all know about pyramid schemes, right? Excuse me. So pyramid schemes was something that they created. Once they found out that people will follow that lineup, that's how they start getting into people's heads on things. But y'all know where the pyramid scheme came from? It wasn't a scheme. They made it a scheme. But you want to know where the pyramid idea came from? Me. So, let's go back into time. Way back. Jesus time. Jesus, how you getting all these people to come to see you? We doing all this walking. How you get so many people to know about you? Well, the best way is when you talk to someone, you tell them to tell another person. And that's how they come. And word of mouth. I'm the product. They coming for healing. They coming for free, to be free from bondage. They coming to me to understand what God truly is. So all I gotta do is get one person to listen to me. Only take one person to listen to me, and then they gonna go tell someone, and they bring someone, and so forth, so on. And they watched it. They watched it, and they noticed, like, wow, like the people coming in numbers. How people, because they found out, how is it that people know me in places that we didn't even get a chance to get to yet? How? We never been to this place before. How they know about us? How do they know about us? We haven't been there yet. Because one tells another. See, by the time we get there, they already have someone that's going to another location. Maybe going back home, or meeting, or vice versa. Right? So when they come, they tell somebody. When somebody comes to the town, they talk about it. And then that person go to the next town or a place, and they tell people about it. Wow, so so everyone is getting to know about it. So by the time we come into town, there's always a crowd. Yeah. Because they want to see me. They want to see what we're about. They want to understand what we do. They know the gifts that we have, and they want to see it. So this is how we do it. So you do the same. I'm going to have y'all to go out. These are 12 disciples. I'm going to have y'all to go out. And y'all tell somebody about me. Tell them what I do. Tell them what I'm capable. We are capable of. All of us are capable of. We're a team. Let them know. They do that. But this is the kicker. I didn't ask for nothing. Just people. But folks are starting to offer money. Folks are starting to offer money. And they start noticing, geez, they giving us money. We don't need that. We don't need it. But they won't take it back. We tell them we don't want to take it back. I mean, don't take it. We telling them that we don't need it. But they keep giving it to us. Okay. Well, if they giving this to us, then y'all keep it. I didn't need it. Y'all keep it. Just say thank you then. And what we can do is we can help people that are in need. Okay, we can do that. But what started happening is more and more people started providing. Right? Just giving. And it was cool for a while. And we was helping people. We was helping families. But then some people got greedy, and they start telling people, if you want to hear Jesus' voice and you want to hear what Jesus is doing, you got to pay us this amount. They start extorting things. They start getting money and requesting amounts. It wasn't just the regular offerings. You got to pay more than that. Jesus doing all, you need to pay more than that. They was taking money on the side. They wasn't helping the people out. They started taking money on the side. And they thought just because I wasn't right there underneath them, they thought that I didn't know what was going on. So they had a side meeting, and they started noticing how things was, and they realized how much money they was getting. And they was like, shucks, we tired of walking. We're tired of walking. I'm tired of walking. You telling me the people gonna come to us, we ain't gotta come to them. I'm tired of walking. Can't do it anymore. My feet tired. I can't do it anymore. Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk to these. I'm gonna talk over here and talk to these people over here, and I'm gonna cut a deal with them. So what we're gonna do is, in every town we in, we're gonna go to the top person. We're gonna cut a deal with them. And we can get people to sit back and pay for Jesus. We're gonna cut a deal and tell them that anytime they know we're supposed to come, that they supposed to give us a certain percentage of it. We're gonna call that tithing. We're gonna call that tithing. Give us 10%. It was less than that at one point. It was like 5%. No, 2%. 2%, and over time they went up to at least 10%. But 2%, give us 2% of all the earnings that come into your town. So this was going to happen. We're going to have somebody to come and let you know whenever we come, right? You will make sure that every person that's coming to see us, they pay up, or we ain't coming. Pay up or we not coming. And what we'll do is we'll cut a deal with you. Whatever you will receive, give us 2% of that. Then you can keep the money too. And we all work together like that. That's what happened. But after a while, they started receiving more money and gifts and jewels and different things. To the point they was like, we don't need Jesus anymore. We can do this on our own. They know who we are. They know what we about. We got powers too. We can do this ourselves. We don't need Jesus anymore. Shucks, I ain't got time for doing all of this. So they start putting messages in people's ears and try to say that I was doing some reckless stuff. They try to say I was putting spells on people, but it was them. See, they was putting spells on the people to get the, because they had special gifts too. And they was putting mind control spells on people, but people started noticing that why is it that our towns didn't have these issues like that? Now all of a sudden people are getting sick, things are happening, and it was like that was Jesus done it because y'all wasn't paying up. So since you wasn't paying up, Jesus put a spell on you. Jesus put a spell on you because you wasn't paying up. But it was them. They were torturing people, putting spells on people that didn't pay the amount of money, but they didn't have it. They didn't care. They was ruthless. They was ruthless. So word got across town. You know how gossip is. Bad get around faster than good. Now all the towns are having issues. So they decided they needed me out. They needed me out. But that was their plan. Excuse me. They needed me out. I still try to convert people over to let them know that that's not right and that that's not something I would do. But it was more them against me. All of them was against me. Yeah. I know they try to say, oh, this one's your friend. It wasn't just Judas. Judas was the ringleader. All of them was against me. And the names are different than what they got in the book, just to let you know. All the names are different. But yeah, so that Last Supper, I knew what was to come. They was trying to figure out how they was going to get the plan done right, because they knew that I had an idea about it and they knew my powers. So they had to figure out, how can we get her to not be able to mess with us. Yeah. So we're gonna stick with the names we know. So they got Ye to do it. They had Ye. See, they knew how to get underneath Ye's skin when it came to me and different things. We always been attacked somehow, some way, some form. Somehow, some way, some form. We was always attached. But this is before I actually fully went away. He cheated on me. He cheated on me. So you know how, like, in the book they got it as like Jesus and Mary Magdalene. It was like that, but the roles were reversed. But he cheated on me and I saw it. They had him to mess around with someone. That was the only way they could get to me. Once that happened, it broke my spirit. Because he promised me that he wouldn't do that. And he broke it. You know I'm big about promises, y'all. And that was the last straw for me. Because I already knew what they had. That's when my powers was way stronger. And I already knew what they was up to. And I kept talking to them. And I try to keep let him know they using you. They using you. But you know, we family though. We family, but be mindful. They using you. They made him look at me as, why is it that you follow her? It should have been the other way around. That's how they got in his head. She should be submissive to you, not the other way around. They got in his head. Why is it that she get to make the rules up and you got to follow everything? They got in his head. He was happy. But they made him feel less than a man. Because of me being a female. So that's how that happened. It broke me. So whenever they decided to put me on the cross and they whipped me and all of that, I was too numb at the time, because it was too much going on. I was tired already. All the walking, all the talking and everything. It was draining. So when the whole skit thing happened, I just gave into it. I gave into it. It was painful, but I gave into it. Think about it. I have all these spiritual gifts. I could have stopped all of it. I could have stopped it. I got control like that. I could have stopped it. But I didn't. I just allowed it to happen because I don't know, it made me realize how evil folks was, and I was like, it was my time where a part of me copped out, like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm ready to leave this mission and leave all this behind. Leave it all behind. I don't care anymore. If this the world they want, let them have it. Being on the cross, I could have took the nails out myself. I have that ability. I can bend things with my mind. But I let it happen. The reason I let it happen because I wanted him to see what I was sacrificing. I needed him to see, and others to see, that this what happened when you love someone. You will sacrifice yourself for someone that you truly love. So that's how that happened. So back to the knives. I wasn't working with Cutco just by chance. These secret societies and people had me to work with them. It was a humiliation thing. The mother of pearl represents me. The knives was the ones that they were stabbing me in my back because they took something that I had for the greater good and turned it into something that would corrupt the world. They was letting me know, we run this and you can't do nothing about it. I tell you, these folks been watching me ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was a kid. However, there's more things going on right now. So, those knives that I have, right? My mother ended up taking them. Well, it's not so much taking them. When I moved to Kansas, I left them with her, and she had them, and she had them ever since. And I did a video a couple months ago, and I was talking about how we all have patterns. And there was this one knife, right? This one knife that always in a drawer that normally I use. And which is weird. We have this other knife. It's an old knife. It actually cuts better than the Cutco knife. I actually got into the point cutting that because my uncle was like, one day he was like, get the other knife. I was like, okay, which was weird. It was weird for him to state that, but I went along with it, and you know, I've been using it ever since. But one day I go in a drawer, that Cutco knife is gone. It's the biggest one. It's gone. This is when I was still talking to my mother, but not like that. I said, Mom, knocked on her door. Mom, you know where the knife at? No. No. My mom don't talk like that. My mom, when she don't know something, she'll be like, what you talking about? What knife? What you talking about? She'll ask more questions. See, everybody got patterns. She'll ask more questions. That's when she don't know. So that's when she do know that when she don't know the answer to something, she'll ask more questions in a way. So it's like, if I'm asking about something and she really don't, she'll question it. But she ain't questioning it. So she knew where it was at. But she told me she didn't. I have a feeling that knife is connected to some crime, or crime that has happened or about to happen. Something's going to go on with that knife. And I know it ain't got nothing to do with me. Or, because I don't know everything. I'm going by what comes to me. Or she has it in her room, thinking that I'm going to come at her something she was going to use it on me. Those are the 3 options. However, my spirit led me to something this morning. So, I tell you about the egg that was on the bench that represented the Neo. Well, me and my son did an Easter egg probably like a year ago, where I bought some eggs. All those eggs are gone except for one. And yesterday, lo and behold, I see one in a drawer. I saw it and I was like, what that egg doing in there? Now that drawer, this what caught my attention, because I said pay attention to details. The drawer this egg is in is beside the drawer that we utilize. Alright, so we have 2 drawers. One of knives and forks that we use, and one with old stuff we don't use like that. However, my mom is very particular about things. Anything that was old, like stuff from my grandmother, all of these things, she has it, she keeps it, but she don't use it. But this one knife she always used, and what's so crazy, something significant about this knife. Now this knife is older than me. It's older than my mother. It's my grandmother's knife, but it still works better than the other knives, and it has never been sharpened. Now once I'm done with this, I'm gonna put it back in where it came from. This knife. This one of those old timing steels. They way back. The stuff they got now is that fake stuff. And then with the wood, you see how it looked, because so much water got into it, but look how strong it is. And then it made me think about something. So there was a video that Ye had, and he had a hoodie on his head, and he was talking to Jamie Foxx, because you know Jamie Foxx was in his first his first actual video. He done videos before, done stuff, but his first actual worldwide video, right? And that was slow jams, right? And they end up meeting, bumping into each other in a lobby somewhere. Now, unfortunately, I can't find the video. And this video I saw some years ago, probably like 2-3 years ago, and it popped up in my memory. But it was an Instagram tag that was to it, and the Instagram tag said the original wood. And I remember when I seen that video, and what happened in the video, Jamie Foxx said, long time no see, something like that. We back at it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ye said, this is God's plan. God's plan. So, there was a tag, an Instagram tag, and for some reason I looked it up, and it was of a tree. It was literally a tree, and it was a stump. I remember it. It was a picture of a tree, if I'm not mistaken, and a picture of a tree stump that was cut, but it was in a heart. And it had a crack in it. Same one, like, if I'm not mistaken, 808s. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So, that brings me to my name. Names are very significant. So, my maiden name is Barkley. So, let me pull that up. Excuse me. The name Barkley, British and Scottish origin, is often associated with a birch tree meadow. Ain't that something? Birch tree. Are frequently linked to new beginnings, good fortune, and a hope in folklore. There is an indirect which many way a name like that. Now it does say something about there isn't a direct spiritual meaning in the way a name like Jehovah might have. The association with the nature and positive symbolism can be interpreted spiritually by some. See, you got Barkley and you got Barclays. The Barkley origin is from a white family. Yeah, from a white family. There's a lot of significance here. I'm gonna just say it is. I'm not even gonna hold it up long. Christianity is fake. Y'all know that? It's fake. It was created off my back. They put it down as Christian because they want you to believe in God. And see, they created the pyramid scheme to try to represent as they try to make it sound like that was something I created. That was not the deal. They falsify. Ask yourselves, when you go to church, you got a pastor, right, that speaks. What you do? Pay tithes and offering. What you do? Fellowship, right? But you go and tell people about your pastor, and then guess what? That's how your congregation get bigger. Look at mega churches. You understand? How are these pastors able to get those many people in the churches, right? And if you listen to their messages, all the messages are the same as a small church. So why the small churches don't have that many people? You want to know why? Because the bigger the church is, the more demonic leaders you have. Y'all not there because you want to. You are there because you're summoned to. See, when these churches, they have people that put spells on y'all. Yeah, they're spells. Like T.D. Jakes and all of them. They're spells in the church. That's why y'all flock to them. That's why y'all go to them. Why is it that these pastors getting all of this money and all of this stuff, right? Oh, we're providing money to these small countries and this and that. No, you're providing money for slavery. You're providing money for missing kids. You providing money for their sexual desires. You're providing money for kidnapping. You're providing money for poisoning and spells to be put on y'all. That's what you're providing for. they have people that can say certain things. When you gotta be careful when everybody that speak in tongue don't both be speaking in tongue. You have two forms of tongue speaking. One that's on the good side, one is on the bad side. They could be casting spells in your life, and you wonder why you keep going through turmoil. And then they say, put the money in the offering plate, in the tithings, put your 10% in. How many of y'all put more than 10% in? Because you hoping that you get something back. How is it that these, let's go all the way back. Do you know? So it's the Pope is in control of the whole situation with the Christians, right? Right, okay. He's the leader of the church, right? He don't ask for tithing because he already know he don't supposed to do that. He don't ask, but guess what? He gets money from it. See, he knows that if he go directly in his church, his domain, he don't supposed to ask for that. But he gets a check. And just to let you know, those doors that they've been opening, y'all know those fake, right? Those not the real portals. And as y'all saw with the Pope, there are people already on the other side. His old behind couldn't open those doors. They needed someone on the inside to pull them open for him. You gotta remember, y'all, dealing with me, I don't deal with fashion. Materialistic wasn't that big thing for me. It was the simplicity, and that's why they was pissed. Because I was about simplicity. They was about fashion and looking a certain way and representing themselves a certain way. Everything that is super holy is underground. Do you understand me? Underground. Underground. Protected. Underground. Those doors and cathedrals was man-made. It's just a door. But go underground. You don't want to touch those doors. Yes, there are portals to some really bad areas. Really bad. Because you know how there's mole people, right? There's something that's way different in them that's underground. See, if y'all really knew the truths, you would know all of this. Ask yourself, Pope, why y'all go run and fellowship underneath him? Can I ask a question? What was his last sermon about? Why about the one before that? Why about the one before that? Why about the one before? Do y'all even remember any of his sermons? But y'all go to him because he's supposed to be the Holy One. Right? Y'all all flock to a man that y'all don't even listen to his sermons. But because he's considered the Holy One, y'all go over there and praise him. But y'all read the Bible though. No different than any other churches. Y'all read the Bible though. I thought y'all supposed to idolize anybody. Right? The only person you supposed to put your energy into is God. He's not God. They not God. Those not God. Those not God. So why is it that y'all go out of y'all way for these people? If you don't do it on a regular day, why is it that y'all wait till specific days to do these things? How come the pastors in the church are more flashier than the congregation? How is that possible? See, a true leader will make sure the community is taken care of before themselves. They're not going to want to see their flock in lack. They're not going to want to see their sheep in lack. They're going to want to make sure that their congregation is taken care of, because they coming to God. How many of y'all can't pay y'all rent, your mortgage, your car note, child care, food for the table, medical bills, but then y'all run up to the church and look at this pastor with this $200,000 watch on, or $500 jacket on, and got their red bottom shoes and their chains and all of that. Right? And you barely could put money in the offering plate. How many times they ask y'all to go add more? We need more. Excuse me. We need more. We need more. Where the money going at? Where the money? Don't tell me it's going to these organizations. That's just a cover up. Not for all. Not for all. I'm not gonna come at all churches, because some churches are legit. But these really big ones, what you covering up? Why is it that we got people in the congregation that can't pay their bills? Why you not having taking up the money to help your congregation out? Why? I ain't never, ever heard of a church sit back and say, we're gonna donate $500 to every member in the congregation. We're gonna donate $1,000 to every member in the congregation. I ain't never heard that. But I have heard, hey, we're gonna give this church $1 million. We're gonna give this church $50,000.
The dollar is the official currency of the United States and its territories.
Y'all notice I didn't touch nothing, right?
And the ISO code USD. The US dollar has a long and interesting history, evolving from its roots in the Spanish dollar.
Now I'm over here busy talking to y'all. Right? And my phone just do that. Okay. Okay. Y'all see how focused I am on the conversation. Ain't nobody in the room with me. And that was the Gemini link. I didn't say nothing about that. And it automatically done it. So, I know what I'm talking about. So you telling me y'all can give all this money out to all these churches, and then your congregation can't even get a stipend? So, to me, it looked like the preachers are the pimps and y'all the hoes. What y'all had to do for that money? Ain't that something? Your hard-earned money that you work for. Get up every day or every night, sacrificing for your kids to come to church to pay somebody else's bill. Because guess what? The money that they're getting is going to their little fetishes. These secret society meetings. These sacrifices. Ain't that something? The whole entire time in the world, y'all been teaching that Christianity is the way. And Christianity is the lie. I don't care about titles. Y'all know that. How many times y'all hear me even when I say about God? Y'all even see how it's hard for me to even say it for myself, and I am who I am. Ain't that something? When I started this whole thing, right? I told y'all I sacrificed everything. Everything. Because I knew what the true power was. And is. I have 400 some videos, and I haven't received a dime off of it, and I don't care about that, because the money for me is making sure that you're living, you're breathing. Y'all over here treating these other people like gods when you're a god, because my spirit is within you. How many times I tell y'all, if you can get to a point where you're like me and you can get above me, I'm going to congratulate you. How many of y'all in y'all churches, and every time you see someone get a position, someone get mad? Don't talk about my pastor like that. Don't talk about my first lady like that. I don't even hear y'all talk about the president and his wife like that. When they have like the church anniversaries and stuff, how much money y'all really go out of y'all way to do to provide gifts and stuff for them? Right? All he's doing is talking. My thing is, how many times y'all gonna pay for the same service? Cause we can go back in the time to any of these pastors. There's plenty of times I've seen pastors go and reuse old sermons, and y'all paying for the same service. I'ma just put it like this, and then I'ma let it go. If they were so good at what they was doing, why the church so packed? On that note, y'all think about that.